Hey, Mike. Sarah here. Thanks for jumping on this call with me.
Absolutely.
Um, we're going to talk a little bit about a seller that is also buying a house and how do they get money to not have their purchase be contingent on their sale. And for two reasons. One, because then they don't have to put their house on the market until they know they've found a house. Right? But
Yep.
also, they're never going to win in multiple offers if they're like, but I'm only buying your house when my house sells. And we've talked about this. We know that the market is good, right? And any reasonably priced house should sell right now. But also,
Yep.
there's too many moving parts in that. If you need that money to come, like that seller's buyer could be a problem because maybe they hired a bad agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
When you brought that up, so I heard something, and it seems to be true with some of the experiences and conversations that I've had over the last 6 to 12 months with some real estate agents. But I had seen National Association of Realtors said 30% increase in newly licensed agents year over year.
yeah, you
Is
saw
that?
that on the Minnesota Association of Realtors, not
Yes.
national. That's
Not national,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Because sometimes national doesn't apply to everybody. No, that
Right.
was a Minnesota statistic that the volume of agents coming into 2021 was 30% higher. It was like 29 or 32 or something, you know what I mean? But yes, you're right. It
Yeah.
was right around 30% more agents, brand new. 30% of the agents out there right now are brand new. They got a license fresh off the internet licensure course through the pandemic.
Yep.
And printed that thing right there on their home computer and turned it in and found a broker. And now they're out there practicing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally
It
practicing.
made my stomach hurt a little bit knowing that the type of market that we're in and the things that we're up against right now. It's do your homework, work with a good agent who has the experience and knows what they're doing, because not doing that can cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, not to mention a transaction of selling your own home.
And
It
headaches.
could make headaches. You could miss out on the new home that you're trying to get because the agent didn't do their work up front with you. So yeah.
And I think I've told you a story or two about some really crazy pandemic transactions that I've had where
Oh yeah.
every time we turned a corner, a new monkey came into the tent.
Yes. Yeah.
So you need an agent that can handle a whole circus.
Yeah. And with the branch that I manage, we've had a dozen transactions. I mean, we can't count them on both hands for sure, on just inexperienced work from the real estate side, prohibiting buyers and sellers to do what they wanted to do, buy a house and sell a house, just because things were missed. So
okay, so we promised sellers that we were going to tell them stuff. Sorry for the tangent, everybody. But it was good for you to know that there are a lot.
I should have asked you before, but
anyway, yeah. So the problem is, if you're also buying, you need a way to get your offer accepted. And having contingencies in this super hot buyer's market, we have another video we did about that I can send to you if you want to know like what a buyer needs to win right now. But one of the biggest things is you can't be contingent on the sale of your house.
Yes. So what are some ways around that? One is I said this in the buyer video too, but start the process early with your pre-approval to purchase your next home. Because one of the main things that we're going to look at is, can you qualify for the new house and your current house at the same time? And if you
income ratios, your credit scores for purchasing, all of that factors in. Yeah.
All of that factors in. And you're saying, wait a minute, Mike, I don't have money for the down payment until I sell my house. There's ways around that. It's called bridge financing, where you can take out a loan against the equity on your current home and use it for the down payment on your new home, even though you haven't sold your current home yet. So that's becoming a lot more common over the last 12 to 18 months, just because of the market that we're in. A bridge loan functions within the transaction. So let's say you're going to purchase your new home. You need those funds. It's a 30-day transaction, turn time from offer accepted to closing. The bridge financing gets done in about 2.5 to 3 weeks. The bridge financing uses the same information that we're gathering for you on the first mortgage, uses the same appraisal, etc. So that's a super common way. The next way is, let's say you're moving out of state even, but you're planning to keep your home. So we can, through conventional financing, use rent. If you turn your current primary residence into a rental property, if you can show us deposit in your account, first month's rent collected, and the rental agreement, lease agreement on your current home, we can use that to offset the payment on your current home so you can buy the new home.
Which means you need to find a renter though before.
You do. Yes. Yep. You need
So
to find
that's a really sticky one from that perspective, right? You need to find a renter that's going to be 60 days out.
Could be, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
60 days out. We've started to close a lot more of those transactions though recently. So I don't know how hot the rental market is, because that's out of my expertise, but that's another way to do it as well.
Yeah.
You can, if your home's completely paid off. So a common misconception is my home's paid off, I know I'm going to qualify for the new home. We have to still use the property taxes and the homeowner's insurance, because those are monthly payments that you're going to retain if you keep your current home. So that counts into the qualifying, into the debt to income ratio as well. So.
And then Heloc loans,
Yes.
people will talk about that. I've had some people use HELOCs to make their move. Yep.
Similar to, so bridge financing would only be used if you're going to sell that house, that when you move into your new home. That transaction, typically you pay it off, you sell and pay off the bridge financing in your current mortgage within 6 months of moving into your new home. If you're going to keep that house long term, then you can set up a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit on your current property to tap into that equity. Both products, bridge financing and home equity loans, home equity line of credits, will lend up to 90% of the value of your current home. So you can tap into almost all of that equity and put it towards the down payment on the new home. Another creative way, if you don't want to go through that process, or maybe you don't have, only 10 or 15% equity in the home, you can get a gift for the down payment from a family member as well to use that. If you qualify for both loans at the same time, both homes and both home payments, that's another option to try to round up some cash for your down payment on the new home to move in and then sell your current home.
I've also seen some people use some financial tools from IRAs and some other things to get those down payments on houses, as long as you have the right kind of product in your portfolio. Yes. Talk to your financial person about that. That's not us, but that is another option if you're not wanting to take a loan, right, against your existing house. You can do that, and then when your house sells, fund that product again, that IRA or whatever it is. Talk to your financial person that allowed you to take money for a home purchase, because investors use that stuff a lot. They use financial tools like that. So just keep in mind that there are a lot of ways to be able to shop for a home before your home is sold, so that you can actually list your house with confidence that you're not going to be homeless. That is a huge fear that I'm seeing in the market right now, as people are like, I need the money from my house and I cannot buy a house unless I get the money from my house. And I can't sell my house until I know I have a place to move, because I'm not going to sell my house if I can't find a place to move. And there's a lot of panic surrounding that. And we have solutions. We just need you to talk to us about it.
Yeah. Talk to someone experienced. Somebody who's experienced, like
We're
Sarah.
Go back to that.
No, I know it, because
apart.
There's a lot of people who are just, I'm done. I can't do it. There's no way around it. There are solutions. You got to talk to the right people who know and who have experience in this business, in the industry.
Right. And then that's the other thing too, is an experienced listing agent, someone who's been selling houses through a lot of markets for a long time, because there are some things that apply regardless of what market you're in, will help you be ready to get that home sold very quickly once you found a place, so that you'll never have to make a payment on the bridge loan, so that you'll never have to worry about paying back whatever financial tool maybe you used, or helping you find a way, I have this, to fix up your home without putting down money up front and sell it and pay off that fix up at closing. So let's imagine this for a second. You're moving because you've outgrown your home and it needs a lot of repairs. I've seen that a lot through the pandemic. That's a very current problem. People are living in like 2 or 3 bedrooms, and now they have 2 kids, and the husband's working from home, and the school homeschooling thing, and it's just, they're coming apart at the seams, and the house is in shambles because of toys and a dog. You also can't sell that house while you're living there. You just can't. It's a pandemic, right? So you need another way to get out of that predicament. And so what we can do is have you get qualified to pull cash out of that house, whether it's one of the ways Mike mentioned, or you get your own money. You might have savings, because a lot of people have had no vacations, and so they've saved their money. Things like that, right? And we go ahead and get you qualified, and we buy that next house. And as soon as we have that locked down, I bring in my company that will do the renovations for you the minute you can get moved out. And then you pay for those renovations at closing.
Such a powerful tool.
That's pretty sweet, huh?
Yep.
Like, you don't have to upfront the fix up, and you still get the benefit of selling a fixed up house.
And you have vetted professionals that you've used and done this with in the past, who you know is going to work. Again, back to my point.
Well, I vetted the
someone who
property
knows.
person, right? Like, I don't back any sort of plumbers or electricians. I can't do that. That's not my thing to do.
Yep.
Everybody asks me for referrals to those people, and I'm like, well, unless they just did work at my house yesterday, I really don't know how good they are. Or if they maybe just did work for a different client, then maybe that's okay. But you never know. Somebody could have a bad day at your house and be crap. And I just
vetted it, and I should back up. Vetted process.
Right. The idea is that I vetted the person that's going to run your project.
Yes.
And then they can have the problems with the plumbers and the electricians and those things, not you and I.
Yes.
That's where I'm going with this. Like, this is an even bigger thing than you're thinking, Mike. This isn't just somebody that's going to come in and change out some light fixtures and whatever. This is a plan made specifically for you and your house.
Yep.
That's a surprise. I haven't told you about this one yet.
No.
This is a good one. Yeah. So then the idea behind that is it takes that stress off of renovating while you live there, trying to manage, the whole project yourself, or think about it yourself, or design it yourself. But people need to call me like 6 months in advance for this to work.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something you're going to call me in April and want to be moved by June, because we still have contractors to line up. There's still timelines that I do not have a magic wand for.
No.
If you have the time.
Yep.
So you got to put in the time, but I can solve a lot of problems with good planning and a timeline. So for all the sellers, to recap, Mike, you can do gift funds or your own money to buy before you sell, as long as you qualify for both homes. If you don't have your own money or gift funds, if you're going to hold on to the property as maybe a rental, you could do a home equity line of credit to get money out of your house to buy the next house. If you want to close all your loans on the same day and use the equity from your home to buy the next home, you'll do a bridge financing option.
Yep.
We also talked about maybe talking to your investments manager and seeing if you can borrow against any of your investments to get a down payment for a new house.
Yes.
And then if you've got your new house financing lined up, if you know you can afford both homes at once, then we can decide, do you need my program to fix your house up as well before you
Yes.
to get top dollar, and throw that piece into the puzzle. And as Mike mentioned right out of the gates, you're not getting this from a newbie agent that got their license this year. Sorry.
You're not, and it's so important to just being on the other side of the business to say, work with a professional who knows the options, who have a process put together like that, because it's not as easy as putting a sign in your yard and selling your home. Work with a professional who knows what they're doing and is going to get you top dollar for that, because it's just going to set you up for success on the new home.
But yeah, but so many of the moving pieces, anybody can come out there and say the market's hot, I can get you top dollar. And yeah, they can. But then what if the appraisal falls apart? Go watch
Yes.
the buyer video. What if the inspection falls apart? Go watch the buyer video. You know,
Yeah.
like there are a lot of other things that, whether you accepted a top dollar offer or not, could trash your transaction.
Yep. Call Sarah first.
Problem. Ha! He got it. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to a little bit of a long-winded but very important bit of information about selling your home in 2021.
That's right. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Ta-da.
That was good. I do have to jump